watching The Kate Fox Show. I'm Kate Fox, and today I am speaking with Gina Lieneck.
Hi, everyone.
Gina, there are so many things that you do in the community and to help people that really I want to talk about all of it. But the initial reason that you have been thrust into the public eye and that you have accomplished great things because of is unfortunately a tragedy that happened in your life. And what the tragedy was, unfortunately, is Gina lost her daughter in a boating accident, Brianna.
Yes.
And now I'm gonna cry. And what no parent should have to do is lose a child. But what Gina did is she took this tragedy and she has made a difference. Like, I don't even know if I could imagine it. I can't imagine going through what you've gone through. But you pulled yourself up by these bootstraps and you created a law. And the law is Briannas Law. And it's for boating, because the accident was, I believe, boating while intoxicated. There was a boat driver.
Well, he was arrested for, he had the smell of alcohol on him, but unfortunately with boating, they didn't get his blood alcohol till almost 6 hours later. So at that time, there was only a trace and not enough to keep him, so he got off on the charges.
I didn't remember that part from that story, and I am absolutely mortified.
Yes.
And I apologize for not remembering that detail.
That's okay. They didn't, there's not much laws to boating, not even a reckless boating ticket, nothing.
Well, but now we have
Brianna's Law.
And Brianna's Law is important.
Yes, you need to be educated before you get on a boat. Before, the age was 1993 and up, and anybody could just go on a boat and put it in the water and the next day just go out and drive. You needed no education.
Wow.
So the night of my accident, the men didn't know how to shoot off flares. They were lost for 2 hours. They knew nothing about the waterways.
But they were out there.
They were at a company-sponsored picnic. They were air traffic controllers, and they were at a union picnic in Davis Park. So instead of doing the right thing and taking the ferry, they took the boat. So they were in Davis Park all day. There were originally 4 men on the boat, and when they were coming back, they dropped one guy off in Patchogue, and then they were lost for 2 hours. And then they found their way to us. When they hit us, they were at full throttle, so they were at full speed, and we had stopped our boat. And we were only going, when they did the reconstruction of the boat accident, we were going like 5 to 7 miles an hour, because we just started the boat up and we were just going. And they just came out of nowhere. They came up and over us. So they ripped off a 1,200 pound canopy off my boat, and that's what collapsed on Brianna.
I'm sorry. And I remember reading about it, and like I said, I can't imagine. No one should have to go through it, but for a mother to have to go through this is just incomprehensible.
It's very tough, and I made a promise to Brianna that I would not stop until I changed the laws, and that was a promise I made to her. And I'm not done yet, because there's many more laws that need to be passed. BWI, which Senator Jim Gorin has right now, which I hold very close and dear to my heart, because nobody should be able to walk free, whether they they killed my 11-year-old daughter, but there's so many other, no matter what age you are, everybody should be held responsible for their actions. And it's not right that you don't even get a ticket or anything. So boating is so different than driving a car. So we did the first step where everybody in New York State, it's a 5-year phase-in period, but everybody has to take a mandatory boating safety course before they get out on the water, because you need to know some kind of navigation.
Yeah.
You know, the day of my accident, we were in Fire Island, and my brother's friend had come to Fire Island, and he had just bought a boat. Again, he didn't need education, and he crashed right into the dock, and I said, he's going to kill himself, kill somebody, not knowing the fate a little while later that it would be us.
Wow. You know what? We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. And we're back. And Gina, so you took us through what happened, and now you have the law for boating education, and you said that your work is not done.
It's not done. There's so much more that needs to be done with boating, and like I said, one of the important factors is the BWI law. You know, it was very hard to put anything to the floor this session because, you know, you had the coronavirus and so much other going on that this had to be put aside because there was so many other lives were being affected by the COVID-19. So next year after election, and the Senator Jim Corrin puts it back, you know, I said I would help in any way that I can and lobby, you know, that has to be passed because, you know, there's no reason that you should be on a boat and be able to drink and hold it up like the Coast Guard could see it, and there's just so much.
Wow.
I mean, the law books for boating dates back to 1800 and something, and it's like, hello.
Well,
like,
when there were 2 boats in the water,
right? You can literally take that whole book and rip it apart, you know.
Wow.
But I think we need to mirror driving a lot more.
Absolutely. And I know you're not going to stop, and I will tell you, if there's anything that we can do to help propel what you need to get done, we will.
Thank you.
I mean, no ifs, ands, or buts.
Thank you.
And thank you, because not everybody takes a stand, whether it's propelled by tragedy or not everyone is willing to take a stand.
No.
And you have been tireless in your efforts.
It's you know what, after a while you get strength. After my daughter was killed, I was in a big depression, and I didn't want to see anybody. I didn't want to laugh. I didn't want to smile. The guilt, you know. So for the first 2 years, like, I was becoming a recluse. And it was very sad. I had another daughter, and it wasn't right. But I was stuck between 2 worlds.
Of course, and you had to. You had to grieve.
And I hurt my other daughter very much, and it still breaks my heart that I did it. But I was just, I didn't know what I wanted or what I wanted to do. You know, and then I finally just woke up one day. Gotta go back to work
and you did
start getting life back together. Opened up a business called Breezy's Field of Dreams, which it helped me a lot to grow, because not wanting to be around people in the outside world, it was an indoor sporting facility, so we had children that would come in, and I started getting more outgoing. So I worked my part-time job for BOCES, and then I would go to my business because I would get out at 12. But it really helped me to get back out there and want to be around people and learn to it's okay to smile, you know. For so long I didn't want to smile because what was I smiling for? But then I said, but I do have a lot to smile for because I have my other daughter who I hurt very much. And that's what I try and tell families now. You know, a lot of families reach out to me that have lost children, and I tell them, don't make the same mistake I made. You have other children. You have to think of them. So I try and take my learning experience and help other families that are feeling this way.
Well, let me tell you something. And first of all, we're connected on social media. You try every single day to give people a smile. You start the day, you give a positive message, you want everyone to have a good day. But it's genuine. It's, you know, it's not it's a genuine sentiment, and it's very obvious. And what you have also done, you've become like a powerhouse in this community, and that's why we're here in Geiger Park.
Why I love the Deer Park community is, you know, and I feel blessed in many, many ways, because there have been many children that have passed and their families have just buried their child and then just went back to their regular life. I was very blessed with the Deer Park community and the surrounding communities, because after my accident, they did fundraisers, and the community, I dinner cooked every night. They were always doing something to keep Brianna's memory alive, and always constant support. And that's one thing I'll never forget, and that's why I always like to give back to the community, because on my darkest days and my family's darkest days, the community was here to help us. So I feel that you need to pay it forward.
Yes.
And there's many people out there that are feeling like me and are in that dark time. I mean, there was a time I just saw darkness, and I know there's lots of people out there, and I try and tell them, I know what you feel like now, but soon, one day, you'll be able to see a brighter tomorrow. And that's what I try and help people with. And it's hard being in that dark place. I was obsessed when I was home. I would put the computer on every day and like just try and make sense of my accident and look through newspaper articles and news clips, and I was driving myself crazy. And I also drove myself crazy because the night we were on the boat, my daughter was sitting in a chair, and when we had stopped the boat, she says, Mom, I want to stand next to you. And I said, no, you get back in that chair. And she's like, Mom, I want to stand next to you. And I said, no, you get back in that chair. And I yelled at her, not knowing that I put her, I'm not saying I did, but I, as a parent, I felt that was the right thing to do.
And hindsight, you know,
right.
You were looking out for your child.
And then I'll never forget the way I found out my daughter died. You could started gleaned in myself, but I knew I kept asking for Brianna. Where's Brianna? Where's Brianna? So my family was telling me that she was in another hospital. And then a doctor came in and said, I keep hearing you ask about this Brianna. She's dead.
What?
I walked out. And that's how, and then I went into shock after that.
We have to take another break. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Billy Mira, and you are watching The Kate Fox Show.
And we're back. And Gina, we're going to talk about some other things you've been doing, some of the honors you've been doing. And I know one thing you just did for this community, and I was fortunate to actually bring my son to do, and it's important to me as a breast cancer survivor, is we walk through the town of Deer Park hanging up pink ribbons for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I mean, you do so many things.
Well, there's putting the ribbons up meant a lot because I don't know if, and Shannon's Law.
I know. I've interviewed those ladies.
Yes.
That
Donna and Linda. And I had spoke to Shannon's uncle many times on the phone, so I felt the deep connection because their loss. Shannon's mom, I talked to her on Facebook, she was going to try and come. So I felt like I needed to do this to help her legacy live on, because Shannon's Law will save lives.
Yes, it will.
And raising awareness to me was important, and that's why I wanted to do the ribbons on the poles.
And Shannon was 34?
31.
31. 31.
31, I believe.
31. And that's why we're in Breast Cancer Awareness Month. This is a young woman, too young to get a mammogram.
Yes.
And yet she perished because of breast cancer. And that is the importance of Shannon's Law. It's to promote early detection.
Right.
The women with Got Checked, First Company Pink, they go into the schools, they go into underprivileged areas,
yes.
And they educate children, so that children, male and female, know what breast cancer is, and so they are moving forward in their lives with knowledge that can help them at some point in their life.
Exactly. So that was very important to put up, because I felt that with Shannon's Law passed, any year it's important to raise awareness, but with Shannon's Law passed, that let's get the awareness out there and let everybody know too that Shannon's life will save lives.
Yes. And that's really important.
And continuing her legacy is important to me, because knowing how important it is for my daughter's legacy to live on, it's just as important for that family and for anybody's family for that matter.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. And it was really special, and I appreciated it so much. And a lot of people appreciate you because you have received citations for the work you do. You received, I'm forgetting already, besides Senator Doyle, who you just received citations from him.
Town of Babylon 2 years ago, I got the Woman of Distinction, and it was called Nevertheless, She Persisted, and it was beautiful. Rich Schaefer, who was the MC, said some beautiful things, and you know, the town of Babylon has been a big support for me, a big support system, cheering me on and keeping me going. So when I was told I got that award, it meant so much to me, because I love them all, and I have a relationship with them, and it meant a lot that they thought that much of me.
Yeah, but I will, and it's wonderful. You earned it.
Thank you.
It's wonderful that they think that much of you, and they should. A lot of people do, but you earned that award.
Thank you.
You absolutely earned it. And you are tireless in your efforts to better the community.
The community means a lot to me.
Well, you mean a lot to the community.
Thank you.
And so what do we have going on next? Because I know you got something every week. What do you have going on next?
I'm going to be working on a food drive.
Oh, a food drive. And you know what? In this time, it's huge.
It's big. And then I also want to reach out to, for a few years, we chipped in and we fed families for Thanksgiving. I want to see if a couple of my Facebook friends who we used to chip into to do it would like to do it again, and if anybody else in the community would like to sponsor a family,
I'm in.
Oh, thank you.
I'm in.
You know, it's all important, especially when you're a family and you're feeling down, whether it's financially, you lost somebody, or you're just not doing good. It's important to make people feel good.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And that's something.
It restores your faith in people.
Right?
Yeah.
It's nice. It's nice to know that there are good people out there.
And there are very good people out there, and that's why the community means so much. And you know what? All the communities, for that matter, because it wasn't just Deer Park who reached out. My daughter was, you know, when she played softball, she played all the different towns. So everybody reached out. I mean, my daughter had the most beautiful funeral, and there was 1,000 people there, and they were there to support us, and they loved her because, you know, she was a little character. She would walk on the field and be like, hey, how you doing, you know, to an adult. So she made her mark here, you know, in her 11 short years. She made sure she let everybody know who she was.
Yes, and her legacy will go on forever.
Yes.
And that's a gift. So now I would like to know from you, is there anything you would like to share that we haven't touched upon?
I believe we touched on everything, and again, I just like to thank everybody for their support through the years, because it's really kept me going, and having the support. You know, I never believed in myself that I can do anything, and I had the right people supporting me, picking me up, saying, you can do it, you can do it. And that's what's kept me going, and my daughter. But just having people that love and support you is big. And in my entire life, I never would have imagined getting like a Woman of Distinction award, or getting this or that, because I was just this regular Joe Schmo. And that
I don't think you ever were a regular Joe Schmo.
just
I don't.
just all like just being pushed constantly, and there were times like I would keep falling, and you know, unfortunately when you're doing this, there's many good people that push you, but then there could be that rotten egg
Of course.
that just is just pushing you in the wrong direction only for their own purposes. And it's sad. Never use the loss of somebody's child to benefit yourself, and that happens in this life with people, you know. But for the most part, you get the one bad egg, but 2 million good eggs.
And those are the eggs that matter.
And those are the only ones that matter. And, you know, just got to keep pushing forward. You know, there's days I don't sleep. I cry myself, you know, because I think, what would she be like today? You know, she's not going to she'll be there in spirit, see her sister get married. But she's not there for my daughter. And my daughter misses out on so much, not having a sibling. And it's tough, and the only thing I can say to everybody is cherish the people around you. Don't sweat the small stuff, because you never know. And the most important thing is never leave somebody on a bad word, because you regret it the rest of your life. And I know what I did as a mom was the right thing. Those words stick in my head. Get back in that chair. But it's important. I know people say things out of anger. Just fluff it off, you know, and respect people around you. Don't be cruel. You know, for as many good people that are out there, there's a lot of ugly people out there.
Oh, there are. There are, but you know what? The good ones are the ones that matter. And you are a good one. You are a shining light.
Thank you.
And you have you lift people up wherever you go.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry to have taken you through the journey,
No,
but I am
it's
so
okay.
grateful
Thank you.
because you're an inspiration.
Thank you.
And ladies and gentlemen, Gina Lieneck.
Thank you. And stay tuned, because we are starting, myself, my girlfriend Sharon, and my girlfriend Lori, we're starting an anti-bullying campaign.
Oh, I'm in on that too, by the way.
Yes, right. And we are going to look at the laws that are in place now and see what laws need to be strengthened, because we need to start putting bullies back in their place.
Yes, we do.
So we're just going to start getting it off the ground, and we just want to go with it and get it into the schools and see what we can do, and especially strengthen the laws.
Amen. Well, then we'll be on board for that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gina.
Thank you.
Hey guys, I'm Heather Lizer. Be sure to watch my interview on The Kate Fox Show.